All right, we are live. We are live. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. Give it a couple minutes. Let some guys get in here. Let me go to my group. Make sure you ask your questions in the chat. Make sure you ask your questions in the chat. Let me share this. One second. It's been a while. All right, all right, all right. Ask your questions. Ask your questions in the chat. I know it's been a minute, so I just wanted to kind of do a quick live. Ask any questions you guys might have. Any questions? Any questions? Just been crazy busy, you know? Life is life. Go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead and ask your questions. Go ahead and ask your questions. Did you guys hear about the Chase is reporting it's a glitch, but they're reporting the business credit utilization on the personal side. So if you had high utilization on the personal side with a Chase business credit card, um, it's a glitch. It's a glitch. Yep, it's just a glitch. Internal system issue. Should be fixed within like 30 days or so. That would change everything. If Chase, if Amex, Bank of America, if they start reporting that, then it's game over. It's like what's the point, you know? But yeah, it's just a glitch. Okay. What's the best way to get funding as a 19-year-old student with parents with bad credit? So since you're not going to be relying on them, it's going to have to be relying on you to get your credit fixed. Um, so to answer your question, I actually made a video, which is I think it's a good video. Like if I started from scratch, how I would personally build out my profile, but I'll lay it out. So first thing, obviously, you need good credit, right? At 19, hopefully you don't have any derogatories, no collections, hopefully not. But you want to start building out your profile and you want to think with the end in mind. If you're trying to get business funding, you want to think with the end in mind, right? Short term, long term, right? So long term, well, short term, you want to start adding accounts, right? And I always preach, I'm not a big fan. I always say this, I get a lot of backlash. Personally, I'm not a big fan of credit unions. There's several reasons why, but in the gist of it, I like tier one banks, national banks, Chase, American Express, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, because they translate well to business, right? Short term and long term. You get the reward points as well. You get high limits, right? So what I would do is number one, I would create an LLC. As a 19-year, I would create an LLC. Um, I would start adding these accounts, these credit cards on your personal credit, Amex, Chase, Bank of America, and a Wells Fargo, right? Like the Bilt card is underwritten by Wells Fargo. So you have these four national banks, these four big banks on your personal credit. When you're looking to get business funding, you already have that relationship with those banks. It's going to translate very well on the business side. So you got the Amex on the business, they got 0%, high limits, merge limits, soft soft pull on credit line increases. Chase is the same. Bank of America is the same. Wells Fargo is the same. So that's what I would do. Um, I don't know much about the profile that you currently have, but I would start there with personal credit cards, the 4 banks I mentioned: Amex, Chase, American Express, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Well, Amex, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Yeah, 4 banks. And then I would try to add some primary installment loans, like a personal loan, things like that. So that's what I would do. All right, let me see that. All right, it's been a minute, my guy. It's been a minute. We need so for these. I do believe you will point us in the my credit. My credit is in the low 700s. I'm looking to get ride for 2 late payments. One is closed Ally Bank auto loan. The other one is my current mortgage. What's the best way to post these problems? Well, uh, the first thing I would do is reach out to the creditors. Um, well, I would try to get that late payment since that one's closed. The Ally Bank one, I would try to dispute that. I would definitely try to dispute that to get that removed. Current mortgage, what I would do is call the mortgage lender and see, as a one-time courtesy, can they try to remove that late payment? You could just tell them, um, it's the first time occurrence. You've been on time with the payments. If there any way they can remove that off your credit report as a one-time courtesy, I would keep pushing 3, 5 times. I would try to keep calling them. You'd be surprised at how many times it's just getting the right person, telling the right story, telling the right narrative to get that removed. All right, hopefully that answers your questions. Okay, who is giving out no doc business loans, and what's the max cap to ask for to ensure no doc? So, a business loan is hard to get with no docs. It's a totally different animal as opposed to a business credit card and a business line of credit. A business loan is harder to get than a business line of credit. Um, so business loans like a SBA loan or a term loan from like a bank for a business loan, it's hard to get. Um, I would try the business credit card and the business line of credit. Usually you can get away with under 50K is no docs for like B-locks, even though it's tightening up. So if we're talking business loan with a term like 50K, 5-year term, 5-year term, monthly payment is X amount, interest rate is that. Those are hard to get, but a business line of credit is different. So there's that. All right. So I am rebuilding my credit, but I also have a side business, and I'm not sure if I should just do a sole prop or LLC, and also what is the go-to structure to have before applying for any credit. All right. So you're building your credit. So there's you can do either or. So if you have the business so it depends. If that side business is generating revenue, I would go with the LLC. If it's not, if you just kind of starting, kicking it off, you can just go the sole prop route. You won't get as much funding with the sole prop as an LLC, but it's a good way because you avoid all those fees with that LLC. You don't have to do the state fee. You don't have to get a business address. You don't have to do any of that. Yeah, so I would if your side hustle is not producing revenue or like really consistent revenue, I would just go the sole prop route. Um, if it is, then LLC is a good way to go. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. Yeah, Chase, no docs. Yeah. So if he was talking about, that's why I wanted to clarify. If he was talking about loans, that's different, right? A line of credit is different than a loan. I mean, they're similar, but you know what I mean. Any new Equifax banks? Not really. Not a lot of banks pull Equifax, to be honest. It's just the regular stuff. Truist is one. I have a video on all the Equifax bank, but not a lot of banks actually pull Equifax. Credit unions pull Equifax for like business. I mean, for personal cards and personal loans. Yep, just like Benita said, try contacting the CEO to get the late payment removed. Yeah, that's the best work. That's the best way. You'll be surprised at how many times that works. It's honestly, it's all about It can involve a little bit of luck. It's all about getting the right person on the phone, telling that story, telling that narrative, and how you spin it where it works in your advantage. So I would definitely reach out to the servicer of the debt. In this case, it was a mortgage. Call the mortgage lender and say, "Hey, I got a late payment." You can just say, you forgot to put it on auto pay, or just try to make up a story on that. All right. Let's see. Anyone have a suggestion for a 20K credit line business? Anyone have a suggestion for a 20K credit line business? 20K. Maybe I'm, maybe I'm reading it. Anyone have suggestion for a 20K credit line business I could start? Business that you can start for 20K. Is that what you're asking? Any business? I mean, something like Amazon, low cost vending machines, ATMs. If that's what your question is, yeah, those are like low entry barrier. Real estate wholesaling is good, something like that. If that's what you're asking, what's a good business to start with 20K? Amazon, anything online like with like selling products, ATMs, what's that called? Vending machines, real estate wholesaling is good. How would I go about pulling liquid cash from business credit cards? So uh, this is like a gray area, but anyway, you could just if you have someone now, this do this at your own risk, right? Well, actually, depending on what you need the cash for. So you need to ask yourself, why do I need the cash, right? Because most of the times you can pay everything with a credit card. Company like Plastique, company like Melio, basically, as long as that servicer can provide an invoice, if you're doing real estate or any business interaction, as long as you can provide an invoice, you can pay using a service like Plastique, Melio. They'll give you the invoice. You upload that invoice to Plastique or Melio, and you can pay with that credit card. You pay the 3%. That's the easiest way. There's very few times you actually need cash, but if you were to need cash, you could do it with like someone you trust who has a merchant account. They send you an invoice. You pay that invoice with the credit card. They'll refund you the money to your cash, to your bank. Okay. Do cash advance. I would never, ever, 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 ever do a cash advance. Ever, ever. It's like you're gonna be in the hole if you do a cash advance. Cash advances usually come with crazy APRs though, because yeah, it's the interest is it's ridiculous. Don't do it. Let me see. Do you burger to stagger? Bother to stagger, I guess. Bother to stagger business has with the five banks since you likely will only have four inquiries on experience. I'm assuming I have no inquiries and apply for BLOCs. Do you bother to stagger your business app with five banks since you? Are you saying just so I understand? I guess if we write the questions, just so I understand the question, I'm a little confused. Talk to a paleo, does high sell, has a POS purchase service, and let them refund you in cash. Yeah, basically, that's what I said. Yep. Just ask the question. I'll pull up the question in the chat here. I'm gonna try to do something. I'm gonna add. I have to set it up. I'm gonna do something like a hot seat, but I want to make sure I have that set up correctly. Where I'll talk about that soon about a hot seat where you guys can get to ask questions on your specific situation. But we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, so I'll be able to get approved for BLOCs and business credit cards on SoapPop, but what about the structure of my file? I have 2 years. All right, so you won't be able to get BLOCs with a sole prop. You can, so you have to have an LLC. Number one. Number two, your LLC has to be minimum 2 years to, generally speaking, to qualify for BLOC, unless you do like an Amex BLOC. Um, what about the structure of my file? I have two AUs and one primary backdated 4 years. Do I need to build? Yes, 100%. You need to build more primary accounts, your own accounts. You need to have your own accounts. As I mentioned, I don't know if you got in here earlier. You want to build your personal credit with personal credit cards and installment loans. The personal credit cards I recommend personally: Chase, American Express, Bank of America, Built, which is underwritten by Wells Fargo, because they're going to translate well to business when you're getting ready to do the business. And then as far as installment loans, you can just get like a personal loan. You could do Credit Strong, things like that. So yeah, first, you can't get the B-Lock with a SOPRA, and then your business needs to be at least 2 years for the B-Lock. So I would focus on building out your profile before you even think about getting funding. Would it be easier to apply for Amex credit as a sole prop rather than your LLC? It's all the same. It's going to come down to your personal credit. It always comes down to your personal credit. It always comes down to your personal credit. So whether you go sole prop or LLC, it's not it's there's no easier way to get approved. And as far as getting the auto loan account removed, how do I go about? Uh, you can reach out to Paul. He's in the group. He does credit repair. Uh, you would have to get that disputed. You would have to get that disputed. I'm not a credit repair guy, so I have no idea. What would be a good POS to liquidate credit? Well, the person you have to have someone who has a business with a merchant account. So it's not doesn't matter what point of sale as long as they have a merchant account. Square POS, but you need strategy not to get them suspicious. Yeah. Are there any business credit cards that aren't based off of personal credit or business credit? No. Well, yes and no. Actually, no. Um, there's like the Sam's card, um, but that's going away. So that's more. So to answer your question, in short, no. You get and you have to get away from this not using your personal credit. You have to get away from that mindset. You have to go into it thinking like I'm going to personally guarantee whatever I'm going to borrow. Okay, so but to answer your question, no. There's funding. There's revenue based funding that you can get where there's no personal guarantee, but you have to producing cash flow. So there's three ways to get funding: cash flow, collateral, credit. You have to bring one of those to the table. There's no way around that. Let me say that again. There's three ways to get the three C's of funding: cash flow, collateral, or credit. Cash flow, collateral, or credit. You have to bring one of those to the table. Okay. You don't have the credit. You can, if you have businesses producing revenue, they use bank statement funding where they just go off what you have, what your cash flow is producing, and they go off the bank statements the last 3 months. You can get funding based off of that. Or you could do some sort of collateral against your business. I'm just trying to be like you, bro. Just trying to be like you, man. He needs he needs to issue a recent or be taxed a lot. Yeah, so that's a whole other that's taxable. That's that could be considered a taxable event. So that's why I don't recommend those. So you have to be careful when you're trying to have someone pay the invoice, and then because that's considered income for them. So you got to be careful with that. I'm right here, bro. I'm right here. Can I still apply for Chase if I was in collections with them in the past? You it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna be 100% like you. You can, but it's just hard because you kind of burned that relationship. I mean, if it's a long time ago, then yeah, you can always give it a shot. Um, but it's just hard. They don't. They Amex and Chase are kind of like um, they kind of be petty with that. But you can. I know people who've done it. So to answer your question, yes. Toby, I need a business. Toby, who can you recommend for business experience credit removal of items? To remove items from business If I'm experiencing business, is that what you're asking? Just want to make sure. Does Chase checking account closure due to overdraft affect me with overdraft red slower than? Does Chase checking's closure due to overdraft affect me? The overdraft red slower than 500. Does Chase closure? When you say affect you what? For what do you mean? Chase closure due to overdraft affect me? The overdraft red. Yeah, if you can ask that again. Uh, yeah, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not. I've never done that, so I'm not. I'm not an expert with the business credit reports and all that because I don't. I don't need that. Um, I don't really use that. There's a small. Hold on a sec. There's a small collection of business spirit. How can I remove it? To be honest, I have no idea. I've never really focused on business credit reports because I've always had good credit, and yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways to do it. I'm pretty sure you can do it with Dun and Bradstreet, but I don't know how to personally do it. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do it with Dun and Bradstreet, but since I don't have personal experience with that, I have no idea. Does it affect me from applying for products? I overdrafted under 500 a few years ago. I mean, if it was a few years ago, then you should be good to go. I would just, yeah, I would try building that relationship again. Just open up another checking account, personal checking, start there, start making consistent deposits, then open up a business checking account, and then make some deposits there, and then you can apply for the business products, or you can just wait to see if you get a pre-approval. Right, wait long enough. As you're making deposits, you're making transactions, you're building that relationship. Sometimes, a lot of times, they'll do pre-approvals. You get pre-approvals on your app. Any questions? Yeah. So what I want to do, people are going to probably steal this, so that's why I'm trying to. I want to do like a. I want to do like a. I'm going to call it like a hot seat where people can call in. It's kind of like a. Yeah, people call in either live or call in on a phone number, and then describe their situation, what they're trying to do, where they're at, and what they're trying to do, and then I'll do a tailored like a tailored structured sequence or game plan. But I got to do a couple things before I launch that. But you heard it here first. People are gonna. I already got some other groups copying what I'm doing, but it's all good. Can I get approved for an Elon Financial Business Credit Card at a small bank in my state with 3 year? What if I? Can I get approved for Elon Financial Business Credit Card at a small bank in my state with 3 year, 2 months AU credit card of 45 credit? You can, but so Elon Financial, even with great credit, is honestly hit or miss. Elon Financial, sometimes you get instant approval, 25K, no relationship, and sometimes you get 3K. So I've gotten both 25K, 3K. So it's kind of hit or miss. So you can, but you can also get one of the three. You get a 25K, a 3K, or a denial. So it's kind of hit or miss. I'm not a big fan of Elon. I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Elon. So let me know what you think about that idea. I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna say the name yet, but basically it's like a hotline where you can call in. We'll do maybe live or um call in a phone number and then call in a phone number and then you'll describe your situation. This is a situation. This is what I want to do. These whatever, and then I'll respond to that with a video or probably with a video. It will be early warning if she doesn't check freeze them and dispute the charges. They get removed. There you go. Any other questions? Any other questions? Damn, it's already been 25 minutes. I know people who flood reports with AUs get approved big numbers at Elon and credit unions. Why is that? Why is that? Toby's credit system really broken, like Elon said. Yeah, it's hit or miss, you know. And yeah, do it after. Try to schedule it in the afternoon, Ben. If you can schedule it in the afternoon, mornings are a little crazy for me. Yeah, AUs, you know, they definitely inflate the credit report, but to get big time funding, AUs are not uh are not really good. It's it's been it's tough, you know? It's tough being a new dad. Seems like it is a big hit or miss. Yeah, it is. It's a hit or miss. You're either gonna get a high limit, 25K, 15K, or 3K, right? The good news, if you do get approved, they don't have you don't need a relationship. Like anybody can just apply. So any other questions? Let me know what you think about the hotline um hotline idea. Sleep, lack of sleep. I haven't gotten sleep in 7 months. I haven't gotten any sleep. Yeah, so that is important. That's another thing a lot of people don't mention. Turned down clients because you're gonna get either denied or very very limited funding if your business credit utilization is maxed out. In other words, if you have a Chase credit card, right, and you if you have a Chase credit card and it's maxed out, you're not gonna get another Chase. If you have an Amex credit card and maxed out, you're not gonna get another Amex. If you have a, you know, so they are now being really. It used to not matter the business credit utilization. It does matter now. I'm telling you right now, it is being a factor. Especially now they're reporting it. It's eventually getting to the Business Credit Bureau. Sometimes they'll quote it as commercial use is too high. Your exposure is too high, basically. So you want to make sure if you're trying to get a Chase business credit card below 50% minimum, minimum on actually all the business credit cards. How thick should my profile be to get approved for Chase Inc. business card credit card prior relationship for 5 years now? As long as you have minimum 2 to 3 personal credit cards, minimum 5 primary accounts, that includes installment loans, ideally 10 or more, and a 720 plus or 700 plus low utilization on the personal, you're good to go. Appreciate you, my guy. PNC updated data points. PNC, it's been a mixed mixed what's that word, mixed bag from what people are saying. Some people are actually there, the PNC is asking for tax returns on the business credit cards. So some people say they haven't. Some people say they've gotten requests for tax returns on the business credit cards. As far as Wells Fargo low key has been giving out the bag. low key. Not a lot of people are talking about Wells Fargo. The thing with Wells Fargo though, you have to have a relationship for a decent amount of time. They're real big on relationship, especially if you have both personal and business. But I'm seeing 35, 40K approvals on their business credit cards. So my client has a business credit card. States 18K limit, 70%. Yeah, you got to pay that down. You got to pay that down. Um, yeah, if he can pay, if he's 70%, what's that? 70% of 18 is whatever it is. He got to get it below minimum 50%. The lower the better before reapplying. Yeah, 70%. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna get denied. Is it wise to set up a trust before LLC we went into business with family in general? I want to go into business with my family, but I want to be as safe as possible. I'm not I don't know about trust, to be honest. I'm not like one of these people they're like set up a trust and do all this, and I don't have a trust, so I have no idea. I don't even know what the benefits are of a trust. So if you're gonna do a if you're gonna go into partnership with someone, make sure that your operating agreements strictly details the roles of each person in that partnership. So if you have another partner in the LLC, you want the operating agreements needs to say my role is this, my role is whatever it is, and the other person is role clearly detailed out. And then what would happen if we sold the business or if you're trying to buy each other out? That gets a little bit more complicated, but it just needs to be detailed out in the what's it called, in the operating agreement. Not for the business credit cards, but for the BLOCs, I heard people are getting requests the 4506Ts, but not the business credit cards are good still. Told him to get it below 30%. Yeah, yeah. If he could get it below 30%, it'd be good. I got rejected from PFC Bank. Opened a business checking account 2 months back. How long do I have to wait before it kind of? I would, yeah, PNC. They used to be good. Now they're kind of, I would do 6 months. They want to see consistent deposits. Then they're very, they have a lot of what do they call? They have a lot of requirements, right? They're very sensitive to inquiries. They're very sensitive new accounts. They like to see that you're going to be there long term. I'm getting ready to wrap up. It's already been 35 minutes. Any other questions? Any other questions before I head out? And I want to do more lives, bring on more guests. It's just crazy, you know? So, any questions before I head out? Last one or two questions, and I'll head out. And then, but I am going to get back to doing more YouTube lives. I'm going to implement the hotline, and then maybe some more classes, some free live classes as well. Any other questions? Any last questions before I head out? Is it going to be every Sunday? Probably. Maybe not every Sunday, but if it is, it'll be Sunday nights. It'll be Sunday night. What are data points to get my first Amex? Like one of the everyday cards. I mean, the personal is actually easy. So if you're trying to get a personal Amex, it's pretty easy to get. They're not. If you don't have a personal, what you can do is they have a pre-approval tool now. So if you pre-approve, you're gonna get a card, right? So before applying, whether personal or business, I would do the pre-approval, the Amex pre-approval tool. See where you're at, see what you send, and it says if you're pre-approved, it tells you which cards you're pre-approved for, and then go that way. And the good thing about Amex, I like once you're approved, it's no inquiry for the business. So if you get approved for the personal, there's no inquiry for the business, and any new cards after that is a soft pull. I appreciate you for sure. Thank you. you have any business class. I have a business credit course. It's in the school group. Um, so if you want to check that out, you go ahead and check that out. How can I schedule a call with you? I have a link in my bio in the school group or my YouTube channel description. I had an Amex card 50 years back. Then I had to declare bankruptcy. I'm trying to get out of that blacklist. I cannot even contact them. There's a there's a way to get back in with them, especially that long ago. So I forget the name of the card. You got to work your way up. They have this I forget the name of the card. It's this like secret card that you can get if you have like situations like yours. I'll try to make a video on that. I would do that ASAP. ASAP. The good thing about Chase now that they implemented it, it's a soft pull for a credit line increase. Soft pull for a credit line increase. I'm gonna head out. What are the data points for business credit cards? Data points, real quick off the top of my head. They pull TransUnion. You can get you can do double, triple dip. They have 3 or 4 business credit cards right now that are 0%. What was it? Preferably a 720 and above for your credit. And it's good to have a personal relationship with them, either business or personal checking. I'm exhausted. All right, I'm gonna head out, and I'll be back active. I appreciate you guys.